Hey learners, welcome to my channel uncloud.com. This is your host Rahul, and today we will be installing the Kubernetes cluster from scratch. For this activity, we need 5 virtual machines running on Ubuntu operating system. You may use any other operating system which you have like CentOS, but in this demo we are using Ubuntu. I'm using a VirtualBox software in my laptop to provide the hypervisor capabilities. That means I have created 5 different individual VMs, virtual machines in my laptop and named them Master 1, Master 2, Worker 1, Worker 2, and Load Balancer. So as I stated earlier, 2 VMs for master nodes, which will be used as administrative servers and will provide the administrative capabilities to the Kubernetes cluster administration. And the 2 worker nodes, we also call it compute nodes, which will be responsible to host or accommodate the business application pods. That means like whatever the application you're going to deploy, it will be go and sit in the compute nodes. And the last one VM will be responsible for load balancer. So that means we have 2 master servers and it will provide a load balancing mechanism between all those master nodes and all the services running under those master nodes. We also have one etcd installed. So there is a component called etcd. It's a key value based data store which will be required and storing all the Kubernetes cluster details like what all applications we deployed in our Kubernetes cluster, how many nodes we have, how many pods are running, which pod is sitting on which node, so on and so forth. So all those information will be stored in a etcd. And in this installation, we are using co-located etcd, which means like the etcd services will be co-located on the master nodes. There is a provision to install them outside the master node, and in that case you need 2 additional VMs which will be responsible for etcd1 and etcd2. So before we will start with these steps, let's complete few of the prerequisite tasks. For that we need to move into our terminal. So let's move on here. So as I checked, I tried to ping Google and it is working. That means the internet is working in this laptop. So we are all good. Let me try to ping that from the master 2. That means internet is working. So we are all good. So let's start Docker as a prerequisite to all the worker nodes, because worker nodes are the nodes which is being responsible to host our business application pods or containers. So for that, we will use this apt install docker command. So download time depends on your network bandwidth. So for me, it will gonna take around 1 minute or less than 1 minute. So we have Docker installed now. So let me check if that service is running. So for that, system ctl status docker. Yes, we can see Docker service is already running. It's in active state and it's an enabled state. Cool. So we are good with the second prerequisite. All right. So next step will be installing and configuring a passwordless SSH between master node and all other nodes, because master node 1 I will be using as a probe master. So I will generate those keys in this node and distribute to other nodes. So for that, we will use SSH keygen command. We can use all the default parameters. Cool. So we got that key file pair generated. So let me try to SSH to worker one node, worker one, and it says permission denied. That means we do not have a passwordless connectivity between these two nodes as of now. So as we already generated a key pairs using SSH keygen, we can print that key file. So for printing that key file, we can use this command. It will display the output or copy the output to the console. Right. So what we have to do is we have to copy this key file using this command to the all the folders. So what will be the exact command look like? So we'll go to worker one and we will paste the command with the key file. So you can see this is the key file we generated on our master one with the username, node name, all those settings. We will just hit enter. It got copied into this SSH slash authorized keys, and now we can try to log in to worker one from master one. So SSH worker hyphen one, and we are able to log in. You can see we already logged into work on one, and we did not need to provide any password to log in. Let's go back to master one. Again, we can try SSH worker one. It's working perfectly fine. So let's go back to master one. So now, as the next step, we have to install a kubectl utility. So it's a client to execute all the commands or to communicate between the components in Kubernetes. So we have to loading it in master one node. So it will take some time based upon your network bandwidth. Okay, so it is completed. Now we have to change the permissions for this. So we'll use this chmod command and provide the executable rights. Okay, and now we have to move this directory to user local bin location, and command would be okay. And just to verify if it is working fine and what will be the version kubectl version. Few people call it kubectl, so I call it kubectl. So both the way it is the same thing. So we need to use this command and it will give us an output like this.